let's say you're getting ready to head out on location and you don't know what you're walking into yet. You kind of have an idea. What would you build out as your kit as far as it pertains to multimeters and meters and things like that?
So let's talk about what they basically come with, right? You go ahead and you buy one of these flukes. What are you going to get in the package? Typically what they'll send you,
A couple
and I'm going to stick with the
alligators
fluke right now because most people
leads.
don't want to go out and buy a FLIR. They're not vetted as much yet, but I love the thing. But so let's go with the industry yellow standard, right? The flukes. So you're typically going to get the fluke. You're not going to have it with this magnetic strap on the back, so I recommend it. Why? Because you can go up to a panel, put it up there. You got your leads in your other hand. You can't hold the damn meter. You know, so you can sit there, you could go measure while your buddy's watching that, or you're looking up and you're measuring something, you know, whatever you gotta do. So that when you buy this little strap, it's like 15 bucks on Amazon or something like that. I recommend getting the one with the hook attachment.
That way you can hang it off various things and cables if you don't have the magnetic.
What if you're on a different type of panel, or you don't have as much steel or whatnot, and it doesn't, or the magnet's not as strong on this panel because it's thinner. You know, so the hook's really nice that you can grab onto something. And I mean, you can always hook it onto the strap itself right here or something and use like the chain effect or whatever. But so I recommend getting one of these. The kits, when you buy them, they always come with the back. If they have the thermocouple option, they'll come with the thermocouple. And then if you buy them, they'll typically come with a set of test leads. And these are standard fluke test leads right here. They're not bad. I like them. But when I was younger and not needing a multimeter as heavily as I am right now, just the standard leads are just fine, right? But as I became more invested in my career, I started finding that, well, what about retractable leads?
Right.
Where the sleeve, now I don't have to worry about accidentally leaning in on a terminal block and I touch another pin. Right. Or whatnot. I can actually use that and just touch it. And there's really only like 2 millimeters there of steel poking out. So you just have to be careful with these because these now have a 4 millimeter banana jack on the back end of them. These are the ones I recommend, and there's a reason. I'll say it in a second. But you can get them where they're like this and they're just cords coming off. They go straight in your meter. I don't recommend those. I recommend getting something like this because of the other accessories. I always like to keep in my kit, just options for you if you're going to build your own kit, alligator clips. And these are also 4 millimeter. These are the fluke ones, and these are, I'm sorry, the best ones I've ever seen. I think there's other brands out there, but like these fluke ones, man, they feel good, they work good, they're nice and shielded. They always bite. They hurt on your finger, like I just did, but they work so well, man. I recommend these. When it comes to the meters, I like the new FLIRs, just personal preference, opinion, and how I use them. But when it comes to leads, man, Fluke's got it in the bag. And so these are all fluke right here. And then
now what's the price on so the ones with the adjustable depth that you just showed, can you kind of talk price on some of this stuff so techs can kind of know what they're getting into? They're probably fairly reasonable. I'd say 30-40 bucks probably.
No, these clips, I think these clips aren't cheap. I think it's like 50 bucks for 2 of them or something like that. They're not cheap. None of this fluke stuff is real cheap. To be honest, like if you want the basic leads, they're not terrible. I think they're like 15-20 bucks or something like that. I got all these on Amazon, so you can get them on Amazon fairly easy and have someone deliver it straight to your door. But but as far as price, yeah, Fluke does look, if you're going to use it and stay heavily invested in it, then it's worth the price. I'll say that. But they're definitely not on the cheaper end for something that can be easily broken. So don't let your buddy who tears stuff up.
We all have that buddy.
When it comes to the small alligator clips, these are good for like when you're inside of like little circuits, right? And you have like a little stinger wire or something coming off. You just want to clip onto that one little point, but you can't use this or something like that, right? So there's 2 different types, and I'm going to go over this specifically. I have 2 different sets right here, and the reason is because I ended up changing over to one. So this first one that I was talking about is the one I want to talk about first. This other one right here is exactly the same thing. I took it out of the sleeve, right? It looks just like this. Clip, all good, right? I took it out of the sleeve. This is what it looks like out of the sleeve. The thing about this one is that there's 2 different types. You have to be careful what you buy. This one plugs directly into your probe tip. Okay?
Gotcha.
Now, when you have the retractables, it works on your probe clip, and well, this one doesn't screw. So you can get some of them that screw on and stay.
Right.
So
that way it doesn't back out on you.
That's great. Me personally, I don't like it so much because now I have a fixed hard length that I have to also find and accommodate room for. Right. So these other ones that I have right here actually have a 4mm banana jack on the back of them. They're exactly the same. All the rest of the hardware is the same. It's a very good little clip. And so here's the two reds from side to side, so you can kind of see they're pretty much. This one's just honestly it's just poking out a little bit. They're exactly the same. There's really no differences between them. Just one goes on a 4mm banana jack and the other one doesn't. And by 4mm banana jack, I mean you can go out and get also Fluke has ultra flexible silicone 4mm banana leads, and it's a banana on each side.
Yep.
So these little things just plug right onto it. And hell, you can even, I've done this before where I go ahead and I clip on one circuit. I just need to poke and short it because I'm testing a functions check,
Right.
I don't even need the meter, but now I have jumpers. I have shorting leads or whatnot, so that's why I really like this setup versus the stuff I was using prior. But lots of good options. Fluke, I'm telling you, I feel like they have it in the bag when it comes to test leads, but
and this may be kind of a layman's question for you here. So you can use the Fluke leads on the FLIR units as well, correct? They work pretty well, no issues or anything like that.
Yeah, this is a industry standard 4mm banana jack.
Yep.
So it'll fit in any 4mm banana jack, and
that's what the FLIR runs is the 4mm banana jacks.
Yeah, all these meters do.
Okay.
So it works on this one. It works on this one. It works on. Just, I know someone's going to be like, nah, I don't believe it, So
right, you got to go ahead and do the actual functional check.
Like why not live right here in front of you?
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? And that's why industry standards exist. And if it'll plug, and if it plugs into everything, then it's just less stuff. You don't have to carry around a different set of test leads for every freaking piece of equipment. It's all universal. It all works, and that's why I wanted to point that out.